We're good. So how were you able to make it even through two starts with your elbow screaming like that?
Probably a combination of factors. The first being wishful thinking, you hope it's soreness. As pitchers, as athletes, we play through things, and we get through things. But ultimately, when it's something as crucial as a ligament, something as finicky, whatever word you want to use, you have to address it. So I felt it probably in the middle innings in Oakland. Ignored it a little bit, chalked it up to opening day soreness, cold. Throughout my work throughout the week was trying to address it as best as I could, knowing that it was sort of an all or nothing situation with when you bring all factors in, both as a team and for me personally, that if it was damage to my ligament, that it was either it goes away or it's surgery. And so kind of got the feedback that I needed, especially I also needed more feedback going into that Seattle start, because it's hard to replicate game intensity and high intensity throws. So going into Seattle, it was pretty much from warm up 1 to pitch 83. So it was an emotional time, but the end results make things a little bit more confusing and a little bit harder, but it is what it is, and we move on, and I'm happy to have answers, and looking forward, happy to soon enough pitch uninhibited and continue to put up results.
Shane, every pitcher, it seems like every pitcher's going through this situation. As a pitcher, does it feel like it's a part of this, or is there something that can be done differently for you guys?
I don't know. It's obviously the conversations are happening. They're continuing to grow louder, and they're happening quite a bit more often. So we'll see what's to come of it. For me, I'm not ready to say what it is. I guarantee it's a combination of a number of factors, and also all of that on top of logging a lot of innings from now all the way back into college and high school. So there's plenty of studies that have been made and plenty that will come. I'm not the first person that this has happened to, and I won't be the last. So hopefully we can continue to garner more information. If you guys are going to ask about probably the pitch clock and new rules that have been implemented, I'm not ready to say that's the reason that it happened. From a conditioning and cardiovascular standpoint, that hasn't affected pitchers, I don't think. So it's hard to say what's going on in the inner workings of the elbow and the arm. So we'll see what's to come of it. Yeah.
So when the pitch clock was introduced, Shane, did you have a fear that even if it isn't direct, did you have a fear that would make it could lead to something like this?
No, that wasn't on my mind. I think the main thing that was on my mind was I'd known that I already had a quick pace in the league, so not much was going to change for me other than feeling maybe a little bit rushed on pitch calling and runners on base and that sort of thing. I never thought specifically about the health of my arm or my ligament and my elbow. So I was more thinking about how it obviously will affect execution of pitches later in the game, and how it might rush pitchers, whether starters or relievers. So when that rule was implemented, over a year and a half ago, no, I wasn't thinking about my elbow.
Other pitchers come back from the same side of injury and ask about it.
Yeah, a few guys. I have a great support system internally. We have a phenomenal support system, training staff, coaching staff, front office that have made it clear and obvious that they support. They always have supported me, and they'll support me through this entire process. It's encouraging to know that, guys do very well after this procedure, and I know I'll be no different. So confident in myself, my preparation, my work ethic to come out of this on top and better. And like I said, the results from the last two outings, while they make things a little confusing, they're also, it depends which way you spin it, right? They're also inspiring to know that if I'm doing that while not feeling good, I'm excited for what's to come when I am.
Do you know when the surgery will be, Shane?
Not yet. No, we're working through that today. Hopefully as soon as possible. I think that's kind of the cornerstone for all this, and then we figure out rehabilitation and what's that after that. But it's looking like hopefully end of the week, but nothing set in stone as of yet.
Can you, with your contract situation, what it is, how does that's like an unknown when you come back? How do you process that?
I'm still processing it. It's a very real elephant in the room, so to speak, and it's unfortunate the timing of everything, but as athletes, you can't control some of these things. So we do what we can. We stay positive. Like I said, I've got an amazing support system, with my family, with my teammates, with everybody around here, and I'm excited to keep my head down, move forward, and it's easy to keep things in perspective. Things could be a lot worse. I'll put it that way. So I can I look back on the last year and a half, going through it last year a little bit, and it was a similar issue. I wouldn't change a thing. I have no regrets, and I feel good with where I'm at, and like I said, I'm still going through the process of working through my emotions with baseball and on and off the field, and I think that's important. I think that's important as a human being, to be able to process your emotions, work through it, and that I'm coming to terms with everything, and so the contract situation, that'll work out how it's going to work out. I truly do believe that, and I'll be fine either way. So it is a reality that we have to deal with. I have no answers right now. Right now I'm just focused on kind of getting this thing done, getting it started, and moving forward.
Shane, you mentioned people blaming the pitch clock. There are some people that have blamed that driveline program that you were doing. Have you heard any of that? Is that been something that you've thought of? They've said, this driveline has blown out people's arms. Is that something that you wish you had done differently, or not done just for you?
Yeah, definitely not. I hadn't thought about it until I read a comment this morning along those lines, and I think that's telling, because it didn't pop into my head. If anything, I felt like I learned how to take better care of my arm, better care of my throwing routine, especially in the off season. I learned how to take advantage of rest days better than what I used to, because I've gotten to this point in the major leagues by pushing. And I feel like last year, not getting the results that I knew I was capable of, I would go out there the next day and I'd push and I'd try and find my shapes and I'd throw as hard as I could and trying to see the way the ball's coming out. And so I learned that maybe I was digging myself a bit of a hole. It was from a good place and a competitive standpoint and wanting to continue to get better. But one of the things I learned at Driveline this offseason was how to take advantage of my rest days. And that allows you to push on the days necessary. And I learned a lot from that aspect. So I think it's telling that I haven't thought about that until this morning when I was preparing to maybe field a question like that from you guys. But no, I don't think so. I don't think they ever place a huge emphasis on spin or velocity for me. It's all internally as an athlete. You want to get better, but like I said, that was one thing for me that it was almost it's very simple, but it was a bit of an epiphany for me in the off season and going into spring training. Is like, let's take advantage of our rest days to be then more ready for the days that we get off the mountain and push it. And so I really do feel like I put last year behind me in the off season and in spring training, and was very vocal about it in the training room. Like I felt really, really good. So some things are in your control and some things are not. And I felt I felt really good about the work that I put in.
You've never really not had baseball. Is that what you're talking about in terms of processing your emotions on and going forward?
Yeah. Baseball will be there. I will be here. It's easy to keep things in perspective. Like I said, it's just an injury that I'll get past. And like I said, I'm not the first person, won't be the last. I think one of the things that is a bit more difficult for me is that throughout the off season and in spring training, like I did figure some things out, and my performance was getting back to the place that I knew I was capable of. And I was falling back in love with pitching. And I was having a lot of fun. This group's great, and they're capable of so much with or without me. I know I'll be a part of it, but just in a different capacity. So, there's a lot of emotions that go into it, but that's one of them.
Right. Thank you, Shane.
Thank you, Shane.
Thanks.